best and stayed out of trouble, and you know, it's the whole Team Penske that really did it, and I thank them.
When you look back over this season now and you think back to the season opener in Australia, how big did you dare to dream at that time?
Well, you know, I knew that, you know, Penske Racing had set the standard since I first started driving. And, you know, Uncle Bobby and Dad both drove for him. They both won championships for him. And they said if you ever called to jump at it. And Roger called, and so we jumped at it. And I didn't know it was going to be as big as it is, but, you know, it's awesome.
One highlight after another. Here's Emerson Fittipaldi, now the teammate. Emerson can't win the championship. He's still in the fight to finish second. When you look back, when you think about all these different races, I know Indianapolis was huge. Has that been the highlight thus far this year on the way to the championship?
It's been the highlight on the way to this. You know, the whole goal is for this right here, for the team to win. And, you know, all the guys, they talk to me off to the side, whatever. It's been a long time since Penske Racing had won, and that they really wanted to win that championship. And so this one's for the boys, no doubt about it.
And now there's the luxury of 2 races to go, and the pressure's off, and you can just go. It's like the old days when you go sprint car racing.
Yeah, it is. You know, we've been trying hard to, you know, we try hard to win this one, and we had a great strategy going, and we came off of that restart and had a good restart, but then, you know, going down into one, everything started getting a little too crowded for me, and Paul and both Jacques, they wanted to win very badly, and I didn't want to end up on the outside of turn 1, so, you know, I backed off early. They both got back in front of me, which then I looked in my mirror, and there was no one going to hit me, so, you know, it's a shame that we had to do it that way, but, you know, we'll try to win all of them like we did, and you know, the team's a super team.
There's a giant trophy from Kears Pollock and PPG that awaits you. That'll be over in Victory Lane. Go savor the moment, Junior.
Well, thank you.
We've got plenty of good interviews and celebrations, so don't go away. Take a look at this with Fittipaldi standing right next to our new winner, Gary.
Jacques Villeneuve is enjoying this moment so much he hasn't gone to the victory podium yet. He's out here savoring this. We offer our congratulations as well for this first victory, Jacques. I know Jan spoke with you a few moments ago. Emerson, this young man on a charge today. The big thing for you, however, as a third-place finisher, is the fact that you are now, I think, 37 points up on your closest challenger for second in the championship point chase.
Well, Gary, that's happy, you know, by finish well, but I want to congratulate Jacques. He did a beautiful job under pressure, no mistake. He won his first race, and you know, his father Gilles is going to be very proud up there. And you know, congratulate my teammates. He really deserves to be the champion this year. He's a great champion, and I'm very happy to work with you all.
Emerson is a great champion and a great spokesman as well. He knew Jacques' father very well, and they enjoy this moment down here in the front straightaway as we go to Jan.
Well, Teo Fabi has a 4th place finish, and that equals your best of the season. Now, you had some close moments with Mario Andretti. Tell us about that.
Well, Mario's very tough to go by. You know, every time you try to overtake him, it's a hard maneuver all the time. But we went side by side at the hairpin, and after the hairpin, I was able to pull away.
Now, the Tribune said this morning that you are going to go to the Forsyth team. Is that correct?
Well, unfortunately, not going to be with Pennzoil next year, and that's very sad because I think it's the greatest sponsor in IndyCar. But yeah, I will be doing Indy next year, and hopefully with a very good team.
Thank you, Teo.
Still more to do here. The awarding of the Cup to the champion, the PPG Cup. And we'll talk with some more members of Jacques' team as the coverage continues at Road America. As Al Unser Jr. takes an acknowledging lap for his championship, NFL Primetime returns for its 8th season tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with Chris Bourbon and Robin Roberts. They'll provide complete wrap-up of NFL action today. Well, aboard one of the PPG cars, those beautiful show cars, Al Unser Jr., who will have a big handful of PPG's money as he scores his 2nd championship. And Roger Penske and Shelley on board acknowledging the cheers of a record crowd here at the Giant Road America circuit. He takes that move around the track. What a great day. Those two historic moments, Derek.
They really were, and you mentioned record crowd. It's been the norm at IndyCar racing this year to have record attendances, but what a combination Al Unser Jr. has been with Richard Buck and Roger Penske. Just a formidable combination.
Let's go now. Some other celebrations away from the Penske team. Here's Gary.
Barry Green, of course, is the key man in the Green Forsyth team and the nurturing of this young Canadian sensation, Jacques Villeneuve. And Barry, describe what it must feel like to see this sense of accomplishment, not only for a young rookie driver, but for a new team that's come in here and has had such a dramatic impact this year.
Well, I mean, it's a great feeling, Gary. You know, we started out strong. We had a little trouble right at the start of the season. And then we went on to Indianapolis, did very, very well there. Things were building, and all of a sudden we flattened out a bit. So the players' team needed a real lift, you know, and Jacques Villeneuve just gave it to us today. Just drove a great race, you know, under pressure. Al Jr. sitting right on his tail. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of the boys. We had a little trouble in the pits, and we cut it very, very fine on the fuel. We were running out of fuel on the outlap, but we needed to give it everything the engine could take to beat Junior, and we did just that, and I'm super proud of him.
I know back very early in this season, you were very outspoken saying this young man reads a race car so very well in your various tests and practice sessions. Does he have an exceptional skill?
I believe it is. I believe he's the best I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot of great drivers, and he's just getting better and better every race. He's getting better and better, and we're going to see a lot more of young Jack.
Congratulations, Barry.
Thanks, Gary. A lot of fun. Thank you.
All right.
Now, there's a very deserving guy, but he's so good at bringing new drivers along. Remember, he helped put Teo Fabi on a rookie pole at the Indy 500. So here is your order of finish. A brand new winner, a two-time champion, Emerson Fittipaldi, still very much in the fight for second place. He's going to have to hold off Michael Andretti to do it, though. Teo Fabi comes home in fourth. Spectacular finish there. Adrian Fernandez, the best finish of his career thus far. Scott Goodyear, Stefan Johansson, Bobby Ray Hall, Scott Sharp, and Dominic Dobson. That team looking very strong. Christian Danner kept that car in there all the way to 12th today. Nigel Mansell had his problems, fell out for the moment. He is not the champion of anything. First time in 2 years. Hiro Matsushita, Giovanni Lavage, Mario Andretti, then Michael, then Paul Tracy after leading in the early going and was such a strong candidate to win. Mauricio Gugelmin, Mike Groff, Marco Greco, Ari Landijk, Alessandro Zampedri, Willie T. Ribbs comes home in 24th place. Unofficial Marco Greco, Ari Landijk, Alessandro Zampedri, Willie T. Ribbs comes home in 24th place. Unofficial results here. Robbie Gordon has his problems earlier. Mark Smith started so well and was looking powerful. Eddie Cheever, Jimmy Vasser, Frank Freon, who came in just at the last moment, and Claude Bourbonnais was the first car out of the race. So finishing that long lap and waving at all the fans here is our new champion. There's still more to happen here at Road America, so stick around with us. Should be interesting. We'll be back. Our coverage of the IndyCars at Road America has been brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Yokohama Tire Corporation. Yokohama, high performance has a new definition. Here's a driver on his Arrivederci tour, Mario Andretti. He finishes 16th here today and is with Jan.
Mario, you finished 16th today because of some motor problems, but for a while you had a great race going with some guys like Teo Fabi. What does it feel like doing your last race here on a circuit that I'm sure you enjoy?
Well, I was somewhat enjoying myself because the car was very consistent. We were very slow in a straight line, and I think that was our drawback. But the handling of the car was okay, so it was, you know, it was a fun race for me. And you know, we could have probably come away with a fifth, which is points, and I certainly need them at the moment. But you know, I think right at the end there, you know, for no reason that I can see, the engine just packed up, seized, and that's it.
I'm sure a lot of people ask you this very same question, but there's only 2 races left. That has to be going through your mind, that there's only 2 left for Mario before IndyCar racing is over.
Well, you know, that's why it would be that much more important to be able to finish. You know, naturally, we're doing everything possible to try to see that we get to the end. And I know that the crew and everyone, you know, they're doing their job. It's just that for some reason or other, we're just unlucky in the engine department. We've had a lot of failures this year for I don't know why. And I don't know what we could do. You know, like I said, this would be nice to kind of come home with some results. You know, our main sponsor, one of the main sponsors, Texaco, is a race sponsor, so I think it would have been nice for them as well, but we did the best we could.
Mario Andretti, a man who still loves his racing.
I'll tell you what, his fans still love him. We've seen signs like this and some very warm friendship with the fans throughout the entire year as he's on his Arrivederci tour. Let's take a look at what is the defining moment of this race and, to a degree, the championship. This is as they were coming back from the last caution period. Now, take a look at the pace car as Paul Tracy came screaming past, as did second and third Unser Jr. and Villeneuve. But as they got down after the green flag was when all the action really broke out.
And there's no doubt in my mind that pace car had an influence on this action right here. But look at Tracy, almost hits him. That probably is the first contact there. And watch how close they come down the hill. Bang, touch each other again. But that was the deciding moment.
All right, well, let's look here. Tracy did suggest that he was already suffering his engine problem at this point.
Now remember, Al Jr.'s leading right here. And both cars come down the inside. But watch the first contact. Tracy turns behind Villeneuve. Hits him right there. That's only a gentle touch. Then they accelerate out of the corner. Tracy hopes to keep the inside line, but watch what Villeneuve does. Forces the issue, and watch contact number 2. Tracy has to back out of it. That was the deciding move from 23-year-old Jacques Villeneuve, who is so nonchalant I can hardly believe. Doesn't faze him whatsoever, but for Barry Green to say that he's the best he's ever worked with, what an accolade that is. But I think it also goes to prove a new team like Forsyth Green Racing, it goes to show you there is no magic to being successful in racing. You just have to have all the parts and then make it work for you.
So our new winner up on the podium acknowledges the crowd. We'll be back with a little bit more.
9 years.
Back at the Texaco Haviland 200, where the celebrations are underway for a first-time win and for a championship. Now remember, next week it's still a battle in the Indy cars. The Bosch Spark Plug Grand Prix from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, as his hometown says arrivederci to Mario Andretti, a track where he could very possibly score a victory. So Al Unser Jr. has taken the championship, and they're going to move him over, Jan, to car number 1.
That's right, Paul. This is the very pit board they showed him on the last lap. Obviously, Al Unser Jr., car number 31. Now that he's won the championship, what does that mean for next year? Numero uno.
I'll tell you what, I don't, Derek, want to take anything away from young Villeneuve at all. Let's review the points, though, before we get back to that. And the fact is that there's no question about number 1. There is quite a question sitting there in second place as Emerson Fittipaldi and Michael Andretti will battle it out. And Paul Tracy very definitely wants to prove his ground in the fight as well. So there's still very much a fight here. It kind of is setting the final race of the season at Laguna into a possible free-for-all if those battles are resolved. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Well, Paul, we're right down here in front of the victory podium. You see the magnificent PPG IndyCar World Series Championship Cup, all 200 pounds plus of it. It's right in front of Al Unser Jr., Kears Pollock of PPG, Carol Wilkins down here to handle the ceremonies. The congratulations are being offered, and a new champion is being brought into the IndyCar ranks. Here's Kears Pollock now shaking the hand of Al Unser Jr. He acknowledges, and this crowd echoes the great sentiment of a magic moment in IndyCar racing for 1994.
You love that smile? Al Unser Jr. takes the championship. Jacques Villeneuve with a new victory.
And in his home race in Toronto, Peter Collins, who owns the Team Lotus Formula One team, came to watch Jacques Villeneuve. He has had that type of influence on the other side of the ocean, not just here in IndyCar. And I remember when I met him for the very first time, he was 9 years of age, walking around the harbor in Monte Carlo with his mother, Joanne, who I don't know whether she's even here or not to enjoy the day, but she used to come to some of his Formula Atlantic races. But she has a star on her hands.
And one of the good pieces of news is he is staying in the Indy cars. He's very solid in that relationship with Barry Green, and so he's going to stick around for a while, and I think the indication today is we're going to be treated to some great battles. There he is. He ran past the start-finish line here and then pulled off the edge of the course. Didn't have